Okay, I'm going to go over those drip calculation rates that I went over with you guys the other day. Here again, I want to talk to you about the formula. So the formula right here is something important you guys need to know and have that one down. So let's go ahead and talk here. So you were ordered to give isopropyl drip 4 micrograms per minute. You have 1 milligram and 5 mils. Again, the 5 mils is not important. You have a 250 IV bag, and the patient weighs 176. Again, the patient weight in here is not important. So let's go ahead and figure out how we're going to set this up here. So we put our 250 milliliter bag divided by the amount inside, which is 1 milligram. We multiply that by our dose ordered, which is 4 micrograms per minute, and we have the 60 drop set. Now remember, 4 micrograms is a smaller number, so we're going to convert our milligrams into micrograms. That makes our milligrams 1,000 micrograms. So we carry our formula down, 250 times our 4 times our 60 drip set divided by our 1,000 micrograms. Now 4 times 250 is 1,000. 1,000 divided by 1,000 is 1. So 1 times 60, therefore, is 60. So that leads us pretty easy to that area. So hopefully you got this concept down. Now if we calculate that exact same problem with a 10 drip set, we'll come to the same conclusion of the 250 times the 4 micrograms comes out to 1,000 divided by the 1,000 micrograms. That's 1. 1 times 10, our answer would be 10 with the question with a macro drip set. Let's try another one. So you were ordered to give lidocaine in an IV drip at 2 milligrams per minute. You have 1 gram of lidocaine in 4 mils. Again, the 4 mils is not important. And you have a 250 milliliter bag. Your patient weighs 80 kilograms. Again, a fooler, not important in this situation. So let's do our setup one more time. So now we have our 250 mils over our 1 gram. Our dose is 2 milligrams, and we have our 60 drop set. So we needed to convert that over, and that went very fast. So if we're converting that same problem with a 10 drip set, remember we're doing a 10 instead. You can always stop this at any point in time and go back and see that. So very fast through that one, but we did that one in class. You can go back to it and review there as well. So what I want to do is get you into some other samples here we did not do. So here we have 500 micrograms per minute as our dose. We have 200 milligrams on hand, and we have a 250 IV bag. Patient weighs 200 pounds, and we have a microdrip set. Again, our microdrip set is not important here. So let's set this one up. As we set it up, we have our 250 IV bag over our 200 milligrams. Now up above we have 400 micrograms over milliliters and our 60 drop set. Now because we got 400 micrograms, it's a little bit easier to convert this over into milligrams. So we'll keep our 250 milliliter bag. Now we're going to times it times 0.4 milligrams as we converted it over. 0.4 times 250 is actually 100. So we have 100 over our 200, or 1/2. Our 1/2 of 60 is 30. So very simple. And again, if we had a 10 drop set on this, it would be 1/2 of 10, or our answer would be 5. Now in conversion with this, if we did this with a 400 milligrams of dopamine instead of 200 milligrams of dopamine, we would increase the amount below. So instead of that being 1/2, it would have been 1/4. So 1/4 of a 60 drop set would have been 15, or 1/4 of 10 would have been 2.5. Now here's another conversion. We have 1 ampule. 1 ampule is equal to 1 milligram of epi in a 100 IV bag. You're instructed to start the drip at 5 micrograms per minute. So let's set this one up as well. So we're going to have our 100 milliliter IV bag over our 1 milligram. 5 micrograms our dose. So we're going to keep the micrograms and we're going to convert the milligrams down into micrograms. So if we do that, we have 100 cc's times our 5 micrograms times 60. 5 times 100 is 500. 1 milligram is actually 1,000 micrograms. So we have 1,000 over 500, or basically we have 1/2 again. So our 1/2 times 60 again is 30. Now if we use a 10 drip set on this as well, we would also be given 5. 1/2 of 10 is equal to 5. So hopefully you're starting to get this layout of what we're looking for. So this time we're ordered to give 150 milligrams of amiodarone and put it into a 100 milliliter IV bag with a micro drip set, and our dose ordered is 15 milligrams per minute. Now this is going to be a nice one because we're using milligrams to milligrams. There's no conversions here. So how are we going to set this up? Well, we're going to have our 100 milligrams with our concentration of 150, 100 milliliters with our 150 milligrams below, times 15 milligrams. Well, 15 times 100 is 1500. 1500 divided by 150 is equal to 10. Simply there, we can cross out 150 above, 150 below, which is equal to 1 with that extra 0. So we have 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is equal to 100. Now, had we used a microdrop set on this, that would be 60. 60 times 10 would be 600. So let's look at this in another question, and we'll see how we're doing here. So this time we're ordered to give dopamine to a 176-pound patient. This time this is going to be a weight-based because we're asked to give this patient 5 micrograms per kilogram per minute. Our concentration is going to be 200 milligrams in 4 mils, and we're going to put that in a 250 cc bag. So let's set this up. Again, our 176 pounds divided by 2.2 is going to be equal to 80 kilograms. We do our formula, we still have our 250 milliliter bag with 200 milligrams of dopamine in it. This time 5 micrograms per kilogram, so as we bring that down, that's going to be 5 times 80, and we have our 60 drop set. Well, 5 times 80 is equal to 400. 400 times 250 is equal to 100,000. Now converting our 200 milligrams into micrograms is 200,000. So basically we have 100,000 over 200,000, or equal to 1/2. 1/2 of 60 is equal to 30. We're going to do the same one again, this time with a 22-pound patient, and we're going to order to give 0.1 micrograms per kilogram of epinephrine, and we're going to have 1 milligram in a 250 bag. We're going to use our microdrip set, and we're going to check that rate. So we're going to set up 22 pounds divided by 2.2 is going to be 10 kilograms. We're going to have 250 ml bag with 1 milligram, 0.1 micrograms, that's going to be our smaller number, so we're going to keep that, and we're going to convert our milligrams to 1,000 micrograms. So 0.1 times 10 is equal to 1. 1 times 250 is 250. Well, if we go back into our fractions, 250 over 1,000 is basically equal to 1/4. So 1 over 4 times 60, or 60 divided by 4, is going to be equal to 15. Now let's do this problem again, but this time let's go ahead and increase our dose, or double our dose, to 0.2. Well, now we're going to have 2 times 250 above, so that would have been 500 over 1,000, or we're going to be at 1/2. So instead of 1/4, we've been at 1/2. 1/2 of 60, that would equal to 30 drops. Hopefully this